These body arcs are very important. These are kind of like a bridge between fluidity and blockiness. I mean to say that if we fail to get these arcs correct, we might have a jerky result and a vice versa, a fluid one. So always a thing to keep in mind while posing him out. Looking at it 360 also helps you understand the posture and the way it's supposed to move. Always do that. It's really important. Move the head just a little bit. Always keep checking your poses 360 while creating shots like this. If the director changes the camera in the later part of the production, then it could create a problem if the animation doesn't look good from all 360. Normally the director won't change it, but it happens, so just something to keep in mind. Keep an eye on how I'm changing the poses while I go and what I'm trying to get here. It's basically a run cycle right after the landing stance, and right after the run he'll jump and swing his spear to hit it to the nearby enemies. Here we won't be animating any enemies nearby, but yeah, you can go ahead and create a whole sequence where your alien robot lands like this, and you can add 2-3 enemies coming from the side, and your spear hits them with great impact. You can do that. That will really look cool. Also, we have to keep an eye on the number of keyframes that we have. We don't want to stretch it any longer, or make it shorter. But it totally depends on the camera view. In case you have a long fight sequence, you can shift different cameras from different angles to give it a whole cinematic view. I mean, there is no hard and fast rule to this, but those are some things that I told you to make your shot look better. And experiment with your camera views. Maybe try to watch some action films and try to read a camera sequence where there's like a nice action happening. Get inspired from all that. It's really important. These all are part of the animation workflow. If you know what you're blocking out, you'll automatically visualize your end result long before you even start your blocking plus. Try to use as many principles you can. Pushing poses is also a very important part of the primary blocking phase. All I'm trying to do here is get the poses right, the poses that I remember for the pictures we checked on the internet. Some parts are memory, some parts visualization, and most part improvisation. Improvisation helps in opening up your mind to a lot of new poses and creative things that can come up. Let me show you how this will happen. This trajectory actually, okay, not that high, but somewhere down here. Yeah, definitely not that high. I like it to make sure from all the angles. So let's play it through the camera here. The COG needs a little bit of work here. Even the leg. I shifted some of the keys for the alien to take some time to get up from the land, and before he can actually start to run. Okay, so it looks like the forearm needs a little bit of work. It's not going back enough to kind of create the pressure. He needs to start the run cycle, so needs to go back a little bit. As you can see, this kind of makes sense. Alright, so he's gonna run off screen from here from the camera. Let me illustrate that with my amazing mouse drawing abilities. Here, exit. Okay. So let's create the rest of the sequence now. Since it's a whole new sequence, we're gonna need multiple cameras here. Okay. One we used for like 60 frames. Now we're going to create another camera for another number of frames. Go ahead and name it whatever you want, and we're going to name it here. I'm going to put it here, and let's go ahead and look through the camera, look through selected, and just position it accordingly. Alright, that'll do for now. Probably will totally change the camera since I don't have a fixed storyboard for this, and this is just a demonstration, but it's very important to have a storyboard of whatever you're trying to work. But for now, this camera will do just fine for the next set of keys. Alright, let's go ahead and set a key at around 60, and let's go ahead and lock it. Static camera basically. And also in camera 1, we need to key that in 60 as well. Let's go ahead and do that. And one more thing, normally when we work in production, there are different cameras for all different shots, never one camera. But we can also do this little trick where all the 3 shots of the sequence can be achieved with just one camera. I can put a key at 59, one at 60, so it'll play the camera until 59, and then at 60 it'll change position. But I'm not going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and use the normal camera like the one we had. Alright, let's move him up a little bit. Let's move the next key here. I'm going to place the leg up front here down. So that'll be the contact pose for him, and the back leg obviously is going to come up. Okay, looks quite fine from all the angles here. Let me exaggerate this pose here a bit. The arms maybe a little bit more. These are kind of important because it'll really add to the final result. Move the head a little bit down here. Oh, and the curves here. Let's we have to make it really lined up and look really good. Okay, that looks fine for now. Now let's move on to the other camera here. I changed the UI shader mode from shaded to wireframe unshaded so that we can see it more clearly. We'll add some of its leg attributes like foot roll and all that. Those are very important too. Okay, now very important part, people, the hack and slash. He's not gonna keep running forever. These 2 steps are enough for him to get into the force for the hack. Let me go ahead and illustrate that for you. Okay, here's the right leg, and the left foot now will be up here. So the only thing while taking off he needs to focus is the taking off. For which obviously the y-axis will be way up here, and his line and his focus will be straight up, like straight up at his enemy with the spear on top of his head. That will also be a very cool pose. And it will be obviously rotating here. It's like a swing kind of thing. So he'll move down here and attack his enemy right into his head or something. Let's go ahead and check some of the images here on the internet. Okay, it looks like I've got some of these from here, quite few. Yeah, this one we used already.